So a couple weeks ago, I uploaded this video about the worst top one and talked a little bit about ICDX. And to my surprise, it seemed like you guys really enjoyed that one. In that video, I spoke about how ICDX was a little unbalanced and had some jank gameplay. And that honestly got me thinking. In a game like Geometry Dash, the whole point is obviously to reach the end of the level without dying once, and that requires a lot of consistency. It also opens the door for a lot of potential rage because every time you die, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the level. This piles up, and God forbid if you die to the very end, because that rage is gonna be brutal for a lot of people. This is further exacerbated from levels that are choke point heavy and are just not balanced at all in terms of difficulty. Balancing in levels doesn't necessarily have to be the same level of difficulty throughout the entire way, more so having harder and easier parts across segments, and then not having super heavy choke points, but more so intense parts, like this level right here. But when you run into levels that have a lot of unbalanced difficulty and a lot of parts you just die to over and over again, especially late into the level, you can understand why that gets a little frustrating. So with that being said, I do have a question. What is the most unbalanced extreme demon in the game? Luckily for you guys, I am what we know as clinically insane, and I will be playing what I think is the most unbalanced extreme in the game. Obviously, I have not played every extreme, and there are a lot of extremes that I'm just not good enough to do. So if you guys have a separate opinion, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts. But anyway, let's go right into it. Alright, so this might not come as a shock to most of you, but the level that I'm thinking of when it comes to the most unbalanced extreme is Deception Dive. I've actually beaten this level twice, for whatever reason, and I actually like it. So I'm gonna rebeat it and see if I get frustrated getting it for a third time, because yeah, it is something else. It can be very unlucky, so we'll see how this works. I have not played this in a while, so I have to like relearn everything, I guess. What I do remember is that this part isn't that hard. Yeah, so like this part isn't necessarily that hard. The difficulty of the entire level pretty much comes from this right here. Like, this is literally the whole difficulty pretty much. I'm like surprisingly not doing that bad for just playing it for the first time in a while. Although I remember this wave being impossible. But I do know is like I fluked this level twice pretty much. Like I've never died to the spammy wave at like 87. I've never died to the last like 10%. I think the latest death I had was 86. The first time I beat this. As you can see, this part is like really difficult. It's literally harder than a lot of the hardest parts I've been in other extremes that are much more difficult than this. It's hilariously unbalanced. I got Krampix to 100, which is pretty good. So we're making progress pretty quickly. Also, like some of this, the end of this part, I think from like this to like right before the hardest part, is actually really difficult, and no one talks about it because it's just overshadowed by Krampix. Like this wave is actually kind of hard. But what I will say is like some of the harder parts earlier get like really consistent, which is pretty nice. Because like for most of this level, it is literally just get to like 60% and die and repeat. So having some parts that get consistent is pretty good. I don't know, man. This like the very ending, Krampix's part might get me a lot because I'm having a really hard time with it right now. Like right here is when the level actually kind of gets a little difficult. It doesn't really get super hard, but it does get like noticeably harder than what it's previously. This level is like very hated as well. Everyone hates it because balancing isn't good, which honestly I can understand 100%. I don't know, for me I just kind of I'll reveal how I feel about the level at the end, I guess, when I beat it for a third time. Opinions obviously can change, so I'll wait to get my full opinion, because if I have bad experience with this, obviously. Playing this part from zero, I always had like a small issue. Like, you just kind of, I invented ways to die here. So there is one part in the pre-drop that actually is like kind of hard ship that I just now managed to do. Alright, so I think I've learned the rest of the level. This, I'm going to do it on the start position because I've already been in it number one twice. I'm just going to get on this so I can easily track my attempts. Now this beginning is actually like difficult. This part, like only Rustam's part, is actually like kind of hard. I mean, like this is like a standard extreme demon opening, I think. Then you have parts like this just that are literally 7 stars at the most. I guess we'll see if I get. I think your experience, enjoyment with the level is literally just dependent on how unlucky you get towards the end. That's really what it's dependent on. Die a lot to the ending, you're gonna have a really annoying time. Also, I just realized for some reason I was playing in practice mode. I didn't even get any credit for getting anywhere. I'll admit right now, I'm dying a lot to the easy parts because I haven't played them in a while, and you have to actually figure out how the parts works. Like a lot of it's sight readable, but some parts you have to try to play. At least for me, because I'm just not that good at the game. To be honest, I can't really sight read easy demons very well. I have to actually practice those. See, like I'm playing horrible right now. I don't know why I didn't just click and get to the ship part. And if I'm playing this bad, I might have a really bad experience because I might just die to the ending over and over again. Although I did practice the ending a bit, as you do when you know the ending is hard. Oh wow, I died to Platinum's ship part. The only part in the beginning that's hard. Also, why is it Platinum's part? I feel like Platinum always has these ridiculously hard ship parts. He has one in Imperial Artifice. I mean, I am just so bad at this game. I've been struggling with Platinum's wave for whatever reason today. If I could just get to the second half of the level where I'm actually consistent. You know, this is my fault. I took less time to prepare because I knew the beginning is just really easy. And I forgot. I'm not good enough to just go into start playing levels and immediately beating them. I mean, dude, every death is just a horrible death. Like, I'm not sure what it is right now, but I am not playing good. I got runs. Like, I did the entire second half in one run. So, like, I know I can do this. I'm just struggling with the easy stuff. Yeah, I knew I would die there. I'm just so bad at this game, bro. What the heck? Why did I just die to there? Oh, I got the number! No! The worst finish to get now. Why did I die to that? That is... Okay, like, that part's hard, but I thought I was pretty good at it. Dang it. Seriously? I, like, never have died here. Oh, I finally got that death. I had fluked this wave past 2 times. It was bound to happen eventually. Okay, that's actually a really lame way to die. The part's hard, but I've never died like this. What was I thinking? You have to like click this orb sort of late so you can get a good transition into this foe, and I just wait. Wow, I sold. Why? Why am I selling so much? The ending of this part is not that bad. Like the first half of Krampix is so much harder. I can't pass the second half.
Alright, cool. Beat it for a third time. I still 3 completions, 0 deaths to the last part, which really isn't that remarkable, but hey, we'll take the win.
Alright, so now that I've beaten this level 3 times, I do believe this is the most unbalanced extreme that I think I've ever played. Now, with that being said, I said at the beginning that I like this level, and I still do. I still like this level. It has its problems. Obviously, with it being unbalanced, you have the ending being incredibly hard, but what the actual problem that I have with it is that the beginning is so boring because it's so easy. It's not complex at all, and considering this is an extreme demon, the fun doesn't really start until the level actually gets kind of hard. It's like the whole point, and the level doesn't really start to kick up in difficulty until about 58%. The first 58 is, or first 57, I guess, is really, really boring. When you die towards the end, it's not necessarily as bad as, well, I die towards the end, so it's annoying. It's more so now you have to play the whole first 57% to get back to that. Because 58 to 100 is really, really fun. It is one of the most fun parts of any extreme that I've beaten. I actually adore the hard part of this level. I understand that it gets really annoying because the 70s is incredibly difficult for no reason. But that whole stretch of 58 to 100, I find to be so fun and so consistent. In terms of experience, I think this experience, beating it for the third time, was probably the worst that I've had out of the first times that I've beaten this level. Not that the experience was bad, but just part of it was my fault. A lot of it was my fault, actually. I wasn't playing very well, and it was frustrating because the beginning of the level, you're supposed to be able to pass all the time because it's not hard, and I wasn't doing that. I wasn't delivering, I wasn't performing, so I kind of destroyed my own confidence because I just straight up wasn't playing good. And then also, you know, every time you die you have to play this very annoying pre-drop again, and it's pretty long. Like the annoying part, it does take a while because this level is not that short. It is an XL by a little bit, so that part was kind of draining. But overall, I stand by it, I still think I still really like this level. I'm not going to say it's a great level because I am known for having some strange opinions, but that's just how I feel about it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give me your opinions, not only on this level specifically, but just on what you think is the most imbalanced. Or just maybe it's a different difficulty. Maybe it's not an extreme. Maybe you think there's an insane or hard demon or something that's even less balanced than this is. I just chose extreme because I've actually played this level, so I just kind of knew about it. But yeah, let me your thoughts in the comments. See you guys next time.